New homes that are coming in, the ones that we're bringing in, the single replacement ones that we're bringing in for those 4, well, they're only staying on the market from 0 to 10 days.
Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget why you made up the ones who were there when no one.
Welcome to the show. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and knock that notification bell so that way you don't miss any of these shows. I've got the Twin Falls and surrounding area housing market report for you, so let's dig in. So one of the first things that we need to look at today is what's happening with inventory. I think that's the most important part. And without that information, you really don't know what's out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into a thing called absorption rate. And what that's going to look at is it's going to show you how many houses are going into pending versus how many houses are coming into the market. So I'm going to put up this graph for you right here. That way you can take a look and follow along with it. Makes it slightly easier for you to understand exactly what the numbers look like. So looking at the chart here for absorption rate, this week we had 18 new listings hit the Magic Valley market. In a normal, balanced market, that would be a healthy sign. But look at the pendings over here. Total. We had 102 homes go under contract, or we have 102 homes under contract. When we look at that, we have a ratio of 3.8 to 1. What does that mean? Well, what that means is for every house we bring in to the market, meaning one house we bring into the market to be sold, buyers are buying 4 houses and we're not recovering. The real thing that we have to look at is what's happening there, especially when we look at days on the market. Now, I didn't want to put out another big graph for you to look at because it just didn't make sense. Let me just put it to you this way. New homes that are coming in, the ones that we're bringing in, the single replacement ones that we're bringing in for those 4, well, they're only staying on the market from 0 to 10 days. Why? Well, because they're being priced to today's reality. Now, we have homes that are currently on the market that I don't want to say stale or leftover, but that's basically what they are because they're coming in from 2025. Because a lot of those houses are 10 to 250 days on the market. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that we have a pricing problem in those higher end numbers. And typically, just so you understand, if they're in the higher end market, it's not that they aren't where they could be as far as the price ranges that where it's active right now. It's that a lot of them are over $500,000. So typically when you get into a $500,000 home, it's a little bit more, I want to say, specialized for certain people. Not everybody in the market's looking for a $500,000 home. I wouldn't say here, but in a lot of places, people are saying the buyers have more of a leverage. That's not necessarily the reality because we know where the core amount of houses are being sold. So I'm going to flash up this chart for you. That way you can take a look and you can see what's actually happening and where the core pricings are coming from. If you look at the pending price clusters, 73% of all deals happening right now are between $280,000 to $420,000. That's what we call a core market zone, and it's currently on fire. If you are looking in that range, you aren't in a buyer's market. You're in a 48-hour sprint. When I look at the data for Twin Falls and the surrounding area, I see a lot of well-priced houses that are vanishing from the market before the sign even has time to get in the ground. So that tells me that we're not in an environment of you can sit around and wait, because if you sleep on it, you aren't going to be sleeping in it. So I mentioned that we had some homes that were staying on the market much longer than the average time, specifically in the 500,000 plus range of homes. Well, that range only accounts for 9% of the market. These are homes that are sitting in 100, 200, and 500 days on the market. No matter where we look between Twin Falls, Jerome, Filer, Kimberly, and Buell, they're all in different speeds, and they all have different markets within those speeds as well. So the high end, which is in that 500,000 plus, that's a marathon. So they know that they're going to be there for a while versus core market of the 280,000 to the 420,000. That's your, I'm going to say, entry level spot right there. This is where we see two speed markets. We're not seeing a new home boom. We're seeing a realignment of sorts. We're pulling off a lot of old stuff that's been on the market for a long time, and we're just not replacing it enough with the new listings because the buyers are seeing what's coming on. They're seeing that price, well-priced home, and they're making a decision to move on that stuff. So I was doing some digging around on the internet trying to find a bit of material because I wanted to change a few things up on the channel and mostly this market report. And I found something that I don't know how I felt about it, but I mean, it's become a way of life here in Twin Falls. It's become a way of life here in Idaho. But I'm going to tell you, you're probably not going to be happy about it, but I have to give it to you so you know exactly what's going on and what might be triggering a lot of this quick selling going on in the market right now that we've been talking about. So back in 2020, we were the darlings of the country where we couldn't, I shouldn't say that, we got more people than we'd ever thought we'd imagine move into the area. And for a moment, between Texas, Florida, and Tennessee, we got a break for a little while. Well, that break's over. And I'm here to tell you, and you might not be happy about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, we rank number 1 in destination for people moving. So the information from movingbuddha.com, which is where I read the article from, pulled information from the census. And from the data, it showed that nearly every county in Idaho had an 80% growth in 2025. Now, let's move forward here to 2026, and we saw a 26% surge at the beginning of the year here, meaning from January to this point. Now, here comes the other number that you may not like, but I'm going to deliver it to you. 24% of the people that are moving into Idaho right now are from the state of California. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you. And this is nothing against Californians, other than most of these people that I'm telling that are in Idaho right now aren't necessarily well-versed on liking Californians, if I can say that. But here's the thing. From that same data, when they took a survey of why people were moving from California to here or moving from wherever they were at to here, the vast majority of those Californians said they were moving here because they had family already in the state. And the fact that the price of living in Idaho was much cheaper than it is in California, which makes sense. I mean, you're living in California and everything is double the price than it is here, and in some cases triple the price. Now, we don't have the same things they do, so a lot of these people are giving up quite a bit to move here in order to have a better life. Here's my suggestion, and I take this from my own experience when I say this. Have a conversation with these people before you go nuclear. You might find that a lot of these people have the same ideologies you do, the same values as you do. You might end up finding quite a few friendships in this if you just have that conversation with them. I know that firsthand. I'll be honest with you. I've had my qualms about the expansion of people and people coming in from different states. And as a realtor, I probably shouldn't. But the reason why I've had it is because I was born and raised here, and I don't like change, which is bad for a realtor as well. But I have to get over that every single day when I go out there and talk to people day in and day out about housing. So that's it. That's the final word from this. Before I let you go, could you do me a favor and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss one of these marketing reports? So with that, remember one thing. The data never lies, but the headlines do. So stay ready. I'm Jeff Abram, your local licensed real estate agent right here in Twin Falls, Idaho with Fathom Realty. Have a good Monday and have a good rest of your week. See you later.